Sometimes in our lives we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow.
Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna
to the next petition for consideration today, which is a petition 1651 by Marion Brown on behalf of recovery and renewal on prescribed drug dependence and withdrawal. We have received a large number of written submissions on this petition. I mean, I think possibly the largest number of written petitions for any petition, certainly since I've been involved, and we want to thank all of those who've taken time to do so. And I would also want to thank the clerks for the massive job they've had to do in ensuring that that these petitions are, these submissions are, protect people's privacy. The vast majority of submissions are from people sharing personal stories with us about their experiences of taking certain medications and the range of symptoms they have subsequently experienced. These include stories about ongoing acute symptoms and the impact of these symptoms. As members know, we are not in a position to investigate or intervene in individual cases. However, it would be inappropriate not to recognise that there are in excess of 100 individual cases behind these submissions. So while we cannot look at individual cases, I think we can do something to signpost people to places where they might find support. In terms of organisations which might be able to provide or direct people to appropriate professional support, the British Medical Association is supportive of the aims of this petition, and so might also be a good point of contact, as might the Council for Evidence-Based Psychiatry, which provides support to the all-party parliamentary group on prescribed drug dependence. We will use all of the submissions that we receive as we go about our job of considering the policy action called for in the petition, which asks for the Scottish Government to take action appropriately to recognise and support individuals affected and harmed by prescribed drug dependence and withdrawal. The Clerk's note provides a summary of the evidence we heard from the Minister for Mental Health in January, as well as recent developments in relation to the action called for in the petition. In her written submission, the petitioner indicates that there is no informed support whatsoever for people in Scotland, and urges the Scottish Government to support the introduction of a helpline such as that supported by the British Medical Association. One development the committee may wish to note is the announcement by Public Health England in January of a year-long review into the evidence on the scale and nature of problems with some prescription medicines and how they can be prevented and treated. Members may wish to note that the British Medical Association held a prescribed drugs stakeholder roundtable meeting last week. The petitioner was invited to attend this meeting and in recent correspondence with the clerks indicated that the meeting was genuinely positive and constructive. And I wonder if members have any comments or suggestions for action. Graham?
There's a number of recommendations in front of us. I would support recommendations 1, 2 and 3 in terms of taking this further forward and getting more information. I'm particularly interested in getting the views of GPs in Scotland. They're prescribing these drugs. They're then seeing, or they should be seeing, any negative impact that's having over the longer term. I think it's really important to get an understanding of what it is they're encountering in their surgeries the length and breadth of Scotland. So I'm not entirely sure how you gauge GPs in general's views, but I think that's a particularly important point in the recommendations from the clerks.
Okay. I think we're agreed that we do that, and when we think about the best, also speak to their professional body about how best that might be taken forward. It may be that there are individuals who are willing to engage with us, but it may be otherwise, but we'll certainly take advice on that. Mark? Morris?
Can I just say, Marion Brown's one of my constituents. I'm not personally dealing with this. Jackie Bailey is actually. So just to let you know, that's on the record. That obviously know a bit about it. But I would agree entirely with Graham what he's saying and others that the 1, 2 and 3 I think are important to pursue those because there's so much evidence sitting here, and the very recent one coming from Dr. Terry Lynch is quite interesting.
Okay. Michelle?
Yeah, and I suppose I ought to sort of just declare an interest. I used to head up the drug and alcohol service in the area I live in, and I'm a nurse by background. I find this very, very troubling, and I found the evidence we took at the evidence session very troubling. I think we could add to that list of people to consult is perhaps one of the drug and alcohol services, because they do see people that suffer from the consequences of prescribed drug addiction. And not only that, they see people who use these drugs illegally as well on the black market, and can talk to sort of the impact as well. But I felt that there was an element of saying, oh, there isn't really a problem here in our evidence session, but there clearly is a problem, and anybody who thinks otherwise is really in denial.
Yeah. I think that's just not in dispute. I mean, I think we all recognise it's actually huge and it's widespread. And I think my colleague Graham Day's point about GPs who are in the front line and are prescribing and then receiving the effect of that's so important to get some feedback from them. And also to ask the BMA for its current position on the proposal for a 24-hour, national 24-hour helpline. And, to ask the government what engagements it's had with England on this issue, because it's not just Scotland, it's all over.
Yeah. And I think, I think possibly we were struck in the evidence session with the Minister that we would want to underline the fact that there is an issue here. So I think, as agreed then, that we would contact the Scottish Government about how they're liaising with Public Health England. We would speak to British Medical Association about the whole question of the helpline and critically try to get the views of GPs in Scotland about their sense of this as an issue, and maybe some reflection on what they think how it can be addressed. And I think we would again want to thank all those who have submitted to the committee on this question.
Yeah.
Okay. If that's agreed, then we can move on to petition.
Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend.